Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today I'm going to do hopefully a short review on the new Kato Turntable. We're going to show some pictures on the box, explain some of the accessory pieces that don't come with it and what they do. Some aren't available yet, but they will be here shortly. And we'll take it out of the box and see how it works. Let's get started. Okay guys, we're going to start out with the contents of what comes with the basic table. We've got the table itself, the turntable controller, the power supply, then we've got fitted connecting straight track. That would be these sections here, which actually go out to the turntable, which are angled, but the track goes straight out on them, and we'll get into some variations of those later on. The turntable center brace, which is basically the electrical pickup that goes over the top of the turntable. Bumper track bed over here. I will have to look at those when we get in the box. Bumper track rails, which are the non-prototypical American-looking rails that act as the bumpers, which maybe you might want to substitute for something else. Bumper track bed, bumper track rails, we'd already covered that. Half unijoiner. Apparently where these come together, it takes a half joiner because they're so close together. Insulated joiners and half insulated joiners so that you can insulate your tracks going out from the turntable. There's also a unijoiner removal tool, which is no big deal. There's 10,000 of those probably laying around if you use Unitrack. I apologize for the cars going by my garage. Let's see here. Controller cable. Apparently this number 12 is the cable that connects the turntable to the power pack. Then there's a jump cable. I have no idea what its function is, but I assume that we'll figure it out whenever we get into the box, possibly. Let's take a look at some of the additional features that can be purchased. Okay guys, you get the turntable and you get some of these straight sections. They're going to do a building or a roundhouse a little bit later. I'm assuming that they will do extensions or it will be extendable. It looks okay. I mean, it looks pretty kind of Americanish. Anyways, then this Kit 186 basically is if you want to come out and make curves from the table itself and go into an engine house. That's a separate kit. You can see that here's another 186 kit here, but this one uses the regular pieces that come in the set with a straight piece and a curved piece that allow you to get into a regular engine shed. So you can kind of see that there's multiple combinations of things with accessories that you can do with this. Let's move over to the other end of the box and look at some of the other accessories. Okay, some of the other accessories that will be available are extra 180. This 185 kit is just no more than more straight sections coming off, so you can go all the way around the turntable. Here will be the engine house that we're talking about, which would be the 23240. Then you've got a couple of switches here. One is for power on and off. I'm not sure. I think that's the 850. The 851 is a forward and reverse switch, which would, I guess, allow you to determine the direction of travel on your roundhouse tracks. I'm not real positive about that one. And then the three-way connector would allow you to do multiples of those on different sections of track. The 284 is a power cable that goes to your sections of track coming off the table. Here you can see the 286. Which is has a straight and a curved section to get into a standard engine house instead of a roundhouse. Their version of a engine house, I know that most guys that are using it here in the U.S. probably won't go with something as Japanese looking as that, but it's a relatively nice structure. And then they're also going to have yard structure stuff as well. But for the turntable, you're basically going to be looking at these options here. So let's open it up and set it up and see what we got. Okay guys, here's kind of the whole setup. It was real easy to get out of the box and real easy to set up. You can see that I have the 3 straight pieces on one side. The extra straight piece I put straight across. I'm going to do a little demo on running across the table. There's a cable that's permanently attached that sticks out. If I can keep the cord from swinging in there. Anyway, it's right here. It's permanently attached to the bottom of the table. Comes out here, and you could cover that with scenery or a track piece here. Then you take this cable out, run it down through the layout, and then attach it to the back of the control box. Your power supply comes in here. By the way, that extension cable that I mentioned, it actually plugs into the back of here. And then I have a plug attached to that comes around here and attaches to my MRC power pack, which allows me to run the locomotives on and off. If you wanted to go from if you had a Kato power pack and you wanted to go to here, you could use a 3-way extension here that they're going to make that plugs into here. You would plug your incoming power to it, and then you'd plug your power going to the track on over to the turntable and to your layout. So they have thought of nearly everything, if not everything. Okay, on the control panel, you have a direction of travel, counterclockwise, or see here. I guess this is direction that you want the locomotive to go. We'll have to do some experimenting with this here. But this is the direction the turntable goes. And back the other way, of course. And then when you turn it to the center position, the next track it comes to, it locks the table in place. So let's put a locomotive on here. Oh, I was going to mention too, and I don't know whether I'll be able to get a good picture of it in operation, but you can see the pit is relatively shallow because this thing needs no hole to mount it on the layout. Excuse me. There's these holes all around the outside here. That's what actually locks the table in place to ensure that the table locks in the position that you want it to stop at. Also, these 3-piece sections here, there's a little plate right here that's removable. You can see it, and you can see the glare off of it. It's a little bit different, but you pop that plate off, you unscrew this piece, then you can screw on another one of these 3-packs, and you extend. You would have 3 tracks coming off your table, and you can do that all around the table. Here's our parts here. The boom for over the top of the table, the hokey bumpers that you're probably not going to use, and the bumper adapters, which could possibly go on the end out here at the roundhouse, you know, if you wanted to use those inside the roundhouse to stop the locomotive inside. But all in all, it's really easy to set up. It just fell right together basically. And it's extremely accurate. I've run the table around several times, and while it may not be the most prototypical looking, I can assure you after many, many turntables that I've used, indexed turntables as a matter of fact, this has to be the most accurate one that I've ever used, while not the largest one. And we'll get into that in a minute when I put an SD90 on there. But I'm going to try and zoom in here. I don't know how close I can get with this camera. But right down in there, I think you can see a little pin. When we turn the table, that pin retracts. And I don't know if you could see it or not. But anyway, if I come back and I stop, nah, you can't really see it in the video, I don't think. But anyway, the pin retracts, the table turns, and then when it gets to the position that you stop it at, that pin actually comes out and engages in that hole, and that's what makes the alignment. And as you can see by this little video here, it aligns perfectly. If I move it to the next one and then shut it off, it will align perfectly. Let's try a locomotive on it and see what happens. Okay guys, here's our SD90, and we're going to run it onto the table, and I'll show you how smooth it runs across here. By the way, the knob that's on the turntable controller does regulate which direction the locomotive travels, regardless of the direction that your power pack is set. So obviously you can run the direction of travel of a locomotive on the table regardless of what the setting is on your power pack, as long as the table has power. So let's give this a shot. You'll notice the light doesn't even flicker. The locomotive doesn't even move. It's so smooth across the table. We're going to back it up. We're going to stop it on the table. And you can see wheel-wise, well, locomotive-wise, I mean, we just barely can fit it on there. It's got about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch on each end if you were to center it up. So I don't really know what size steam locomotives it would fit, but it's an accurate. I mean, it's not accurate, but it's a good model of a small turntable. I don't know how big a locomotives you could actually get on it, but I think it's sufficient for most everybody's uses. Let me see if I can run it onto an individual track here. Sorry about the phone. We're going to reverse direction here. I'm going the wrong direction, but you can see that I forwarded it and it indexed right to the track, and I'm going extremely slow, and there was no bobble, no hop, no anything. We're going to reverse the locomotive back onto the table. And I haven't touched my power pack. All I'm doing is reversing the power here on the control unit for the turntable. I can actually turn the locomotive off at this point without even touching my power pack. Now we're going to rotate the locomotive all the way around, and you'll see how long it'll take to go around. I think they said it takes 60 seconds, but you'll see how this works. I know watching turntables going around is a lot like watching grass grow, but here we are. I also can hear, as it's going around, I hear a little clicking sound, and I think what it's doing is indexing to each one of the 3-track sections. I'm not really sure if it's reading that or what. And you can see that I stopped it once it passed this track right here, and now it's stopped on the straight through. Now I can back it up or go forward, whatever I choose to do. We've turned the locomotive around, and now we're headed back out on the approach track. And you could see that there absolutely no hesitation, nothing. And back. And it just seems to be flawless. Literally flawless. Okay guys, I know that was a relatively short video, but really it covers the basics. It's really the simplest turntable that I've ever come across, and the beauty is it sits right on top of the table. I don't know if I covered it in the video, but if you're going to use, or if you're going to attach regular Unitrack to it, you're going to have to put something and shim it up slightly. But that being said, that's an easy process. Whether it sits on a little piece of cork road bed, or you angle it up, or whatever the case may be, it's not something that's earth-shattering. By the way, too, you could also attach other brands of track to it. The joiners could be removed from the little sections there, and you could actually attach Pico or Atlas or anybody's Code 80 track to that and leave or come into the turntable. So really it would be useful with any track brand, not just the Kato. It just happens to be a system that they put together. But my impression of it is it's an awesome table. It works fantastic, and I think for those who can overlook the aesthetics of it and concentrate on the operation of it and live with the size of it, I think it'd be an extremely good value for anybody who's wanting a turntable. But that's what my impression, and I hope to see you guys on the next video, and you all take care and come back and see us.